right, Brittany, we know that turnover is brutal. It always comes when you're busiest and it costs a lot of money. It's hard for companies to recover when their employees are always leaving. So what happened in your experience? What happens when a company is constantly experiencing this turnover?
Well, there's the direct cost, which can be at least 2 times that person's salary who left to try and rehire for the same or even promote from within if someone's ready. But there's so many external or tangential costs, morale, production, rework, safety. I mean, it all just, if you have high turnover, it all gets bogged down. And then the higher the turnover, the more normalized we become that this is just the way our company is or our industry is. And it doesn't have to be. Like the real harm that I'm starting to hear about, not only do we have this huge shortage in the trades and the average worker is closer to retirement than even their mid-career, it's that we have young people who are starting to hear about it and get a little curious, and they come in and they have a terrible experience because their supervisor was never trained how to lead people and manage a job site. And then they run the young guys off and they go tell their friends, oh my gosh, I had the worst experience roofing or concrete, fill in the blank. I don't recommend it. And we're gonna have this like trickle effect of people who then don't even want to try because they heard what a bad experience it can be. So there's all sorts of costs outside of just the direct somebody quit, we have to rehire them turnover cost.
Yeah. And you mentioned that it becomes normalized. Have you seen that happening in the construction industry that turnover has just been normalized as that's the way it is?
But yeah, and some of it, is because we work seasonally. And so you'll have a big ramp up in heavy civil, for example, and then we'll have a slow season. People get laid off. Hopefully they come back. But yes, we're just so hungry for bodies that anyone who is willing is welcome, which can be a beautiful mindset. However, we also, if they come in the door, we need to retain them and make sure that they, yeah, love the industry and see all the growth and the potential and the opportunities that are there.
What makes employees want to stay? And more importantly, what makes your best employees want to stay?
Well, that's such a good question. So the short version of this is if anyone actually cares about their employees, they should be doing an engagement survey, which sounds big and it's not. The ones that I administer, Gallup Employee Engagement, it's like 20-minute max twice a year for your employees and one maybe 90-minute call every 6 months with your senior leadership team. And you actually get a pulse check in a way and data in ways that measure and matter, where we can move the needle on your employee engagement. Engaged employees, not only do they stay, but they're more productive, they're more safe, they have better morale, more efficient, they're better community members and fathers and husbands and sisters and all of it. So, I mean, it has this huge ripple effect if you're actually investing in your employees. But really, it comes down to, do I matter? Am I seen? Does my opinion count? Does anyone care about me here? Or am I just a warm body? And there's some other really low cost, low investment, easy ways to engage employees. And all of the data shows us that just one 15-minute conversation with each of your direct reports each week, just like a pulse check that's meaningful, boosts engagement through the roof. So you don't even have to go through with the whole survey. If you're serious about it, it's worth the time and minimal cost. But even just having employees feel heard, I'm more than a number
Hmm.
in a warm body, is huge.
What are some of the things that come out of a survey like that? Like obviously getting feedback and everything is going to amount to something, but what are the end results usually that get implemented?
Yeah, so this survey, the employee engagement survey with Gallup, is just 12 questions. Some of them feel a little fluffy, even for the trades. Like, do you have a friend at work? But when we have, right? And so what comes out of it, though, is also, do you feel like your opinion matters? Do you have the tools you need to do your job? Does someone care about your growth and is invested in you progressing? So we can think we're having the right kind of conversations with our people, but it's either lost in translation or it's just not happening. So how can we be better at that? And that's one of the things I really stress in my field supervisor training is leadership happens in conversation. You're no longer managing equipment or something else that doesn't have a heartbeat. Leadership is all about we now have to get people rallied around the same vision, working in the same direction, and that can only really happen in conversation. So, are you having the kinds of conversations and effectively that you need to keep employees engaged? So, one of the things that will come out of it is really which of your leaders are the most effective communicators. And these are skills that can be learned. It's such an injustice to think that leadership is something that I'm inherently or you are inherently born with. No, just like working a shovel, properly shoveling is something you can learn and get better at, or driving a piece of equipment, or any of the things that we learn and it's okay to be a beginner at. It's okay to be a beginner at having leadership conversations. And you can get better.
Yeah. What's the number one takeaway here for companies that want to lower their turnover rate? If there's one thing, if everybody ignores everything else you said, then what's the number one thing that they should take away from this?
Have one meaningful conversation with each of your direct reports each week. 15 minutes. Meaningful is you're asking questions before you're giving directives. So, hey, what's frustrating you lately? Do you have everything you need? How can I help? And then, especially if it's a newer member of the crew, do you understand what's expected? Are there things I can help with? Are there things that are unclear? And also, high performers want feedback. I mean, they want to know how they're doing. And so give them that opportunity. Just having that 15-minute conversation is really what builds trust. We oftentimes think trust is built in these big moments, where like I really swooped in and I was there for someone. And actually, trust is built just consistently, reliably over time, and really showing that you're available, you can be approached.